The things that you absolutely need are a water bowl, a food bowl, puppy poop bags, collar, at least 2 toys, one that they can interact with you, one that they can play with on their own, and 2 types of treats. Hi everybody! If you've been thinking about getting a puppy and you're wondering what toys you should get them, or maybe you just want to be budget friendly and you want to get all the necessities right now and then get the fun add-ons later, then you've come to the perfect video, because today I'm going to give you a rundown of everything that I got my puppy and the things that you need and the things that you can kind of wait for later. And I'm also going to go over some breed specific things, or size specific things, I mean, whether it's like a small dog or a big dog and what might be best for them. So starting off, we're going to talk about this crate. I know not everybody is a big fan of crate training, but I honestly wasn't at first, and now I'm very happy I did. See, crate training has made my life and her life 8 million times easier when it comes to potty training, when it comes to feeding time, when it comes to giving her a nice secure area for her to feel safe. Because what you want to do is you want to make sure that you associate her crate with a safe place for her. So I feed her in her crate, she sleeps in her crate, and it just gives her like a nice enclosed feeling, and she'll sleep through the night. She likes her crate. She runs in there when she sees that I'm getting her dinner ready, because she knows that's where she's gonna get fed, and sometimes throughout the day she'll just go in there to lay down. So I know getting a crate can feel like you're locking them up in a cage forever, but I promise you it's really not like that, as long as you're responsible and you're only keeping them in for little intervals at a time and not just using it as a, I don't want to watch my puppy, I'm just going to put them in a crate. Another thing is I feel like people don't understand that the puppy stage is a very mentally taxing stage. It's almost like having a newborn baby, because you have to watch every single move that she's doing. You don't know, even if you feel like you puppy proofed your house, there's something that they're gonna find, or they're gonna start chewing the wall or the door or something crazy. So I really recommend puppy training, not only for your sanity but for your puppy safety. The next thing I'm going to talk about is a water bowl and food bowl. Those should be kind of a giveaway, but I would recommend getting a stainless steel water bowl, just because it helps with bacteria buildup. It kind of helps avoid that, and it's just a cleaner, more sanitary thing. And for food bowls, you can get any food bowl, honestly. I would recommend getting a regular bowl before you get a slow feeder. I got a slow feeder thinking that my puppy was gonna need it, because I kept seeing all these videos on TikTok, and honestly it just kind of looks cute when you can like separate the food and stuff. My puppy did not need it. She is a super slow eater, and not only that, but the feed bowl was just making it too difficult for her to eat, and so she wasn't eating, and we were really confused. We thought maybe she didn't like the food, or maybe she just didn't feel safe yet. But once we switched her to a regular food bowl, she started eating perfectly fine. It was just the slow feeder was too much for her, and you don't want to go wasting your money on something that you don't need. So I would say watch your dog's eating habits first, and then you can see whether they need the slow feeder or not. The next thing I'm gonna highly recommend is getting your dog a snuggle puppy. If you don't know what a snuggle puppy is, it's a little stuffed animal that your dog can sleep with at night, and they have different breeds. I couldn't find a German Shepherd one, so I got her a Bernese Mountain Dog one, because it kind of looked sort of similar. And it comes with 3 heating pads, and it also comes with a heartbeat that you can put inside the puppy. And this will simulate her sleeping with her siblings or sleeping with her mom. And literally the first night that we got her, as soon as I turned it on, she laid down. And it was crazy. It was like catnip to a cat. She just laid down and she was ready for bed. So I don't know if you can hear it, but it's not super loud, but it's loud enough to where even if you feel like she won't be able to hear it or feel it in the puppy, she totally will. It completely changed like nighttime for us, like bedtime. She will sleep through the entire night. She loves her snuggle puppy. The first night was really hard for her just because she had just left her siblings, she just left her mom and dad, she left the only humans that she knew, and so this was really nice to help her calm down and to feel more comfortable, especially in her crate since she was going to be alone. And I highly please recommend it. It makes not only your puppy happier and have a better nighttime, but it also helps you get some sleep and just feel better. Okay, the next necessity we're going to talk about are poop bags. Yes, you need poop bags. Please be responsible and pick up after your dog after they potty. I recommend the earth-rated poop bags because not only are they good for the environment, but they also come in like a bulk. And so there's 120 in here, and they also have handles. So instead of having to like wrap the bag around your hand and like close it and risk having some stuff near the top of the bag, it has the handle so that you can easily just tie it up like a shoelace. And it also has a scented one. I have the lavender scented one, so it's kind of nice. It's more of a convenience thing because even though it's only like a minute walk at most to the nearest like trash can, it's just nice to not have to smell the poop the entire time because the lavender like masks the scent. I'm sure that once I do start taking her for walks and it is harder for us to find a trash can, it'll be really nice to not have to carry something that smells like poo in my hand the entire time. So I would definitely recommend the earth rated poop bags, but if not, just get any poop bags that you can find, pretty please. The next thing I'm going to highly recommend are dog wipes. I also got the earth rated dog wipes. I got the lavender scent, but I recommend these if you have a dog that is medium to long haired, just because when you take her out to potty because when you take them out to potty, you know, sometimes they get it on their hair, they get it in their area, and me personally, I didn't want her to come in with like that area still smelling like pee and then getting it all over the carpet or all over my stuff, because I didn't want her to think, oh, it smells like pee in here, maybe I can pee in here. I wanted to avoid accidents inside by all means possible. Also, I live in an area that's really rainy, or if it's not rainy, then they spray the sprinklers. And so we'll go out there and she'll be completely soaked. And sometimes I don't know how, but the smell of like her tinkle just kind of gets everywhere. So I would really recommend it because when they come in, you can wipe their paws, you can wipe their body, you can wipe their area. And I also like to wipe her ears and her paws just because it kind of desensitizes her. Maybe later on you want to take your dog to a groomer, or just in general, like if you have kids around, then it desensitizes them to people touching their paws and their ears, because you don't want to take your dog to the vet or the groomer and have them trying to bite everybody because they're uncomfortable or scared with people touching certain areas. The next important thing we're going to talk about are toys. So toys are a really big thing because I think, me personally, I think it depends on the size of dog you have. If you have a smaller dog, you can get away with like the cute stuffed animals. You can get away with something that isn't as durable. Meanwhile, if you have a bigger dog breed, they have more of prey drive. They have more of that like, I want to tear this thing up, and you don't want to get them like this small stuffed animal that's going to be teared to shreds in 24 hours and then have to go constantly buy more toys. So I would say if you have a smaller dog breed, you can get away with kind of any toy, honestly. But if you have a bigger dog breed, definitely try to find something that's more durable, more thick, something that is going to last you, because you don't want to, have to keep buying more and more toys when you don't need to. So I actually bought a toy box off of Amazon, and it came with 3 different toys that were pretty much perfect for her. It came with this donkey that has these ropes that she can pull onto and I can pull onto the other side, and the ropes move back and forth throughout the body. And it's also like this like heavy duty crochet kind of stuffed animal. Like it would be really, really hard for her to tear this thing up, which I really, really like. And it also has a squeaker on the inside. And so it just kind of all around is the perfect toy, because she can either play tug of war with you, she can play with it on her own. And I really, really do recommend that box. I also think it's important to get two kinds of toys. You want to get a toy that will keep your dog occupied when they're on their own, and you want to get a toy that you can interact with your dog. So you should get them a toy that has like a squeaker in there that they can just chew on when they're having their alone time, and you want to get them like a longer floppy toy that they can play tug of war with you with. So speaking of that, the next toy that came in the box is this duck, and it's like really crinkly, and it also has a squeaker in here, and it's like the perfect toy to play tug of war with her with, because it's not short enough to where if she tries to readjust, she's gonna nip my fingers, and she's obsessed with this toy. This is her second favorite toy, and she loves it. Those two toys right there would have been more than enough for like the first little bit while she's adjusting and stuff, and then you can later on go and buy fancy stuff. But I got lucky, and it came with a third toy in the box. It came with this octopus, which she actually doesn't like at all. She doesn't play with it. She doesn't give it any attention. I'm hoping that as she gets older, maybe she'll like it more. But it also doesn't bother me that it's just off to the side right now. Another important thing you want to do is you want to rotate her toys. You don't want to give your dog access to all the toys all the time, just because they kind of can get bored of them because they're playing with them all little bit by bit. So what I do is I'll give her two toys, and I'll put the rest of her toys up on a table for the rest of the day, and I'll let her play with those toys for a couple of days, and then I'll switch them out. That way she can still get excited for them, and she doesn't get bored of them as fast. And it also just helps them last longer because you can see how much she's playing with the toy, whether it's like getting more damage than the others, etc. Her breeder was very, very kind to give us a little puppy bag that came with a toy. It came with this pink pig, and it's crinkly on the top and squeaky on the bottom. This is her third favorite toy, and this is honestly perfect. It's like the best of both worlds. It's a toy that she can play with on her own, and it's a toy that she can play with me. So I really love this toy. I'm so happy that her breeder gave us it. If you could get two toys like that, that's honestly chef's kiss. You don't have to get your dog 8 million toys. I definitely got her way too many, but I was just so excited. And lastly, when we did get her and bring her home, we went to Petco, and of course I got her another toy that she didn't need, but I'm glad I did get it because it's her favorite toy out of all of them. And it's this shark. I got it because people call German Shepherds little shark puppies, and so it has this like crinkly water bottle sound, and it also has a squeaker inside. And this toy is perfect because she can like go ham at it all by herself for like hours, honestly. And then it's also satisfying for her like tug of war needs, because she can either hold this and I can pull one of these sides, or she can hold this part or this part. And so highly recommend getting some kind of like crinkly toy and a tug of war toy. Next, we're going to talk about treats. I actually think that getting two types of treats are super important, because you don't want, one, your dog to get bored of treats, and two, I would say start potty training, and if you're going to use a crate, start crate training the first night that you get your dog. The first night from the get-go, start potty training and start crate training. And what you can do is when you take her when you take your puppy out to the bathroom, wherever you want them to go, make sure that you give them the treat right after they potty. You want to give your puppy positive reinforcement a second after they do the skill that you want them to do. So if your puppy goes and potties outside like you want them to, you give them the treat. And if your puppy is crate training, you'll just lead them into the crate with like the treat to their nose. And the two treats that I got are the Power Bites. I got this from Petco. And then I also got the Baby Blue puppy biscuits from her breeder. They're both way too big for her, so I break them down. I actually have some on me. I break them down into little pieces. That way it's just a lot more like a quick digestible thing, instead of like I'm gonna get full after 3 of these because they're so big. So the next thing that brings us to that I extremely highly recommend. I did not think that I needed this. I thought that this was something I could buy later on. But I'm actually really glad that I bought it beforehand, is a puppy treat pouch. A puppy treat pouch is just gonna make your life so much easier. Like I said, you want to give your puppy positive reinforcement that second after they do the skill that you wished for. So it's really important to have the treats on hand, and it's also nice not to have to carry a whole bunch of them in your hand and then have your hand smell gross. It's nice to have them in a pouch that you can easily just grab them and give them to your puppy, and you can carry multiple that way. Instead of just a handful, you can have as many treats as you want. And I think it's really, really important to have that because you will always have the treats on hand. You don't have to put them in like your pocket. You don't have to put them in your hand. It's just right there at your hip, so it's not taking up pocket space either. But please get it. I say that you get this one just because it's not fabric. It's like a nice little plastic, and it has this like magnet, so it'll close every time, and it's easy to open it. It's not like something I struggle with to open. It's not something I have to zip and unzip. If I were to drop it, because it has a magnet that closes immediately, nothing would come out. And because it's not fabric, it's not going to get the smell. With fabric, like the smell of the treats will seep in, and eventually it kind of smells a little funky and you have to wash them. It just makes this one so much easier to clean because I can just wipe it down. I can carry so many different treats in there, and it's also a super cute color. They have all kinds of pastel colors on Amazon, and I highly recommend that you get these. The next thing is a collar and a leash. Please get a name tag for your dog that has your contact information on the back. You don't have to put your address, but please put your phone number. If you have a partner, put their phone number. If you have a best friend, please put their phone number, or somebody that somebody could get a hold of if they can't get a hold of you. So we got her just like a regular name tag from Petco, and we also got her this matching leash and collar. Her collar's on her right now, but it's this like plastic, I want to say nylon, but I don't think that's the right material. But it's this like really thick material that she can't chew through. It's not going to get a funky scent because it's not fabric. And it came with a poop bag holder, and it came with a air tag holder, and her collar. Her collar is the same material, and it's actually really nice because it's not going to smell funky. It's going to be a lot easier to clean. But I highly recommend getting a good collar for your dog, having a name tag on them, and then getting them a leash. When you start puppy training, you're going to need a 6-foot leash, but also if you're taking them outside, you want to make sure that you have them on a leash, even if you're just taking them into your backyard. That way they can't grab something off the ground and kind of take off with it and eat it. And also in your house, you can have them on a leash because it just makes it easier to grab them if they're going into something that you don't want them to be in, or if they grab something that you don't want them to chew, you can grab the leash if you can't reach them. So I highly recommend getting them from the get-go. The next thing we're going to talk about are enrichment toys. You don't necessarily need enrichment toys, but I would say that enrichment toys have helped so much. I would say you need them, but you really don't. But I would say you need them. So enrichment toys can honestly be anything from a puppy puzzle, a Kong, or even if you like DIY'd it at home, you can take a towel, wet it, put it in the freezer, and then give that to your puppy to chew on. I got 2 enrichment toys. You really only need 1, but I got 2 just for funsies. I got her this puppy puzzle, which honestly, it's not that she doesn't like it. She didn't like it the first couple times she tried it, and now she's fine with it. She just gets frustrated really easy because she's kind of a lazy girl. But you can just put the treats in these little holes and cover it with the top part, and they have to sniff and be able to open it and take the treat out. And so it keeps them busy for a good amount of time, and I really like it. I think it's a great way to keep them busy when you just need like a second to get your breakfast ready or do something. It's a good way to feed them lunch because you are supposed to feed a puppy 3 times a day. So if she doesn't eat her food, I can put the leftovers into it and give her the puzzle for lunch. Another thing I got her is a web bowl. It's currently in the freezer, but basically it's like a easier to clean version than a Kong. You can get a Kong that's like a 10 out of 10. I got the web bowl because 1, it's easier for her to get the treat out of, and 2, it's easier to clean. I highly recommend that you get something that you could freeze food in. You can put Greek yogurt in it. You can put her leftover food in it. Like if you're feeding her kibble, you could put the kibble in there with some bone broth or some water and just freeze it up. Give it to them if it's a hot day, or give it to them for lunch. Not only will it keep them busy, but they'll be able to get some food out of it. So yeah. Okay, and now to finish off the video, we're going to get into things that you don't need, but if you want them, you can get them. So I got a pair of gloves to help with bath time. She's not gonna need bath time super often just because she has a longer coat and you don't want to strip all the oils out of her coat. So I got them just in case she was going to need a bath sometime soon. I didn't know if she was going to have an accident in her crate, or maybe one day when I take her out, I just didn't get her, you know, in time and she sits on her number 2, or if, you know, something were to happen to where she just needed that bath ASAP, I could not only exfoliate her with these gloves, but I could also kind of get help with that shedding since she is a longer haired dog. You don't need gloves, obviously, to give your dog a bath. You don't need to give your dog a bath when you bring them home from the shelter or the breeder. You don't need to. You also should look into how often you should bathe your breed of dog. I think it is different for short-haired dogs and long-haired dogs. You don't want to be bathing your dog every week or every day because they do need those oils in their coat. So anything that is like bath time, like shampoo or gloves or stuff like that, you don't need to get it from the get-go. You could have shampoo just because if there was an accident that happened, you have it right there, but it's not the be-all end-all if you don't get it before you get your puppy. The last thing I would say is a bed. A dog bed, I think it depends on whether you choose to crate train or not. Because we're crate training her and she stays in her crate all night, I do not have a bed in her crate for her currently because I don't want her to wake up in the middle of the night and get bored and then start tearing her bed. I don't want her to eat the stuffing. She does have it's actually my cat's bed, but she uses it. So she does have a bed outside that she can lay on, but I want to make sure that I'm limiting what she can eat or chew or destroy in her crate when I can't watch her. And so when she's older and she's better at being in her crate, I will get her a nice little dog bed to go in her crate, but it's not a necessity right now. She's perfectly fine sleeping in there the way that she is. She doesn't mind it, I don't mind it, and it works for us. If you want to have a dog bed for your puppy, I would recommend getting them those the bench ones, if that makes sense. It's like a kind of raised a little bit. I would recommend getting those because it's not something that they can tear to shreds. If you get your puppy like a stuffed bed, then they can chew it and destroy it, and then you just lost money on a dog bed, especially if you have a bigger breed dog, because one, like bigger dog beds are expensive, and two, your puppy's gonna be growing, so they're gonna outgrow their bed really fast. And if you want to be more budget friendly, it would just help to, limit the amount of times you're gonna have to upgrade your dog bed. If you have a smaller dog, you can crate train still. If you want to get them a dog bed, you can. I would definitely recommend waiting until your dog knows the difference between what they can and can't chew on, but that is up to you. If you want to get them a dog bed now or a dog bed later, or if you want to get them one of the little canopy dog beds, that is perfectly up to you. The last thing I will finish this video with is a deodorizer. Your dog is going to have accidents inside. I'm sorry to break it to you, it's bound to happen. They're gonna at least have one or a number 2 happening in the house, and it can smell a little funky. Or if you have other pets, they might try and mark their territory and they might spray or pee in the house or do something. Me personally, it wasn't even my dog Freyja that was the problem. It was my cat Bean. He cannot stand her right now, and so he peed on anything that smelled like her. He's done it 3 times now, and pee is a very strong smell. The ammonia it sucks and it lingers. So I would say get a deodorizing spray from your nearest Petco or from Target or something. It doesn't have to be anything crazy fancy. You could even just put like vinegar and water in a bottle and spray that. I would just say get some kind of deodorizer. I'm really sensitive to smells, so for me it just helped a lot because bad smells kind of drive me a little crazy and I get really cranky. So that was like my biggest lifesaver. I actually recently got it because I didn't get it to start off with, and I was like, I need this. So I just bought some today. But with that being said, that is all that I have for you guys today. Make sure that you do some research on your dog breed and what they might need and what they don't need. Just to do a quick summary, the things that you absolutely need are a water bowl, a food bowl, puppy poop bags, collar, at least 2 toys, one that they can interact with you, one that they can play with on their own, and 2 types of treats. The puppy pouch is not something you need, but I highly recommend it because it makes your life easier. You don't need 8 million toys. 2 types of treats would be nice, but if you just have to start off with one, that's totally okay. And I would highly recommend a crate. You don't have to crate train. I totally understand there's different opinions on it, but I would recommend crate training. It has helped so much, especially when I need to go shower or just like leave the house. I can put her in her crate. That's all that I have for you guys. I hope that you have an amazing day, and I hope that you have a wonderful experience with your new puppy. If you are getting a puppy, please comment their name down below because I love hearing about puppy names. My puppy's name is Freyja, and she is a 9-week-old German Shepherd puppy, and she is the sweetest girl ever. She's so good, and I'm so happy for all of our adventures together. So, bye!